Dobar dan svima koji nas pratite i online. Jedan veliki pozdrav iz Niša. I evo sa nama u autobusu je i Kamil Novak, izvršni direktor FIBA Evrope. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Oh, you have your mic.
I have here my hand, sorry. So good afternoon.
Good afternoon, welcome to Niš, and we hope you will enjoy a bit different surroundings, because I know that you've been here before.
Well, it's a great idea. I enjoyed it very much. I've been here a few times, but never anything like that, so it's a nice surprise.
Okay, so this is our warm welcome for you.
Thank you.
And now let us all know, how important are competitions such as under 16, under 18, under 20 for FIBA?
Well, this is the decision which has been taken some years ago, that this is the tool how we want to support the national federations to grow their players, to give them the opportunity for the international games. I think, and everybody who did play for the national team at the age of 16, 17, 18, it is very, very unique and very special. And then obviously we have also the under 20 category, and so this is what we decided to do. And very unique is also that we offer to every national federation to play international games, the youth in the youth program. So we have the B division and also the C division in under 16 and under 18. So it gives really the national federations the right tool to select the players at early stage and then to continue up to, obviously, to the senior level.
Can you remember how basketball looked like when you were at the age of 18? Or that face says it all.
This is really very, very, it's a long time ago. But actually I do memorize, I do remember when I played first time, when I was selected for the national team, and we played the European Championship. At that time it was in Austria, and I also remember, of course, very much the other teams, especially at that time the team Yugoslavia with Divac and so on, Kukoc, Rajat. So this was the generation, that was actually the generation I played against. So, but obviously the world has changed and the people have changed, and we have to realize that.
Since you mentioned all that, what meant for you to play for that national team when you were young?
Well, as I said, it is something special. At that time it was Czechoslovakia, and I think everybody at that age, at that stage, feels being something special. I mean, you are among 12 players representing your country, so I think I think this has not changed. The world has changed, people have changed, but this hopefully did not change, that it is special to play and represent its own country.
I can only imagine the feeling when you got that first call to join. I can only imagine how that felt. But tell me, do you have a message for young players that will attract them not to miss championships and to participate for their national teams?
Yes, obviously, as I said, it should still be something very special to play for your country. And I don't want to send messages because, as I said, the world has changed, and the kids, the 18-year-old kids today are not what it used to be when we were younger. There is a different reality, also different opportunities for the people, and I mean, we have to realize what options and opportunities we had at that time and what the young players have today. So this we all realize, but still, I believe you will not have many memories later in your life than the ones playing for your country.
And do you remember any player who played in youth championships and today is a top player and unavoidable member of the senior team?
Well, there are many. I mean, we see very many players who, and I would not like to name one because they are really, we see it, and it's very actually interesting to see the players when they start to play under 16, under 18. Many of them continue and reach it and make it even to the senior national team. Obviously, not everybody, but it's interesting to see also the progress and the change. You can see it on the body, how the body has changed over the years. So it's quite interesting. And honestly speaking, I use every opportunity if I can when I'm in these events to go and watch not only the games, but if possible to watch also the practices. That's quite interesting. Obviously, it's only 10-15 minutes, but it's still it's interesting because this has also changed. If I remember how we practiced when we were young and how the practice is today is also very, very much different.
Even I remember that. But tell me, how to find, maybe this is a good thing for parents too to know, how to find a balance between the wishes of young basketball players, you know, like strong contracts, NBA, early professionalism, and the right way of development of an 18-year age boy or a girl. How to find that balance?
Well, the whole life is about finding balance, I believe. The main point here is, at the early stage, when the players are young, there are not that many opportunities to present themselves at the top level, playing and competing against the top teams and top individuals from Europe, and then the teams can even qualify to the World Cup, so from the world. On the other hand, and this is something for us as organization, but also for every club and for every national federation, we have to really realize that there is a change. The generation, the young people have changed. They have other opportunities. By the way, this is also one of the reasons we changed the calendar some years ago, when we said we want to have after some years always one summer empty with no national team activities, because it's really we have to realize that it is not what it was back in the 80s or 90s.
True. But do you have any comments for the quality of the national teams at this championship?
Well, I think the quality is always depending very much on the generation, and also it can also happen that we have some strong teams in the B division because the generation before was not that strong. But there is, and we've been evaluating this with our national federations nearly every year or every period, every term of office, what can be changed or improved. Here we can see so far some strong teams. That there is no surprise. Every championship you would have 3-4 teams overly performing, and then the middle field. So it's interesting to watch, and obviously it will be very interesting now, because now the players are at the age where their future will be decided. It might be NBA, but it's not only about NBA. It might be senior clubs. It's the most important step in the life of every athlete is the transition from junior category to the senior level. And we have seen in the past many talents who disappeared, and we have seen many guys who were kind of like, okay, not the top talents, but then they made it and became top players. So this is actually what is very interesting to see, because there are so many factors: parents, now of course players, agents, the club, the coach, the whole environment, and today again we see that players are having already many people around them at that stage, advisors, etc. It was not the case 20-30 years ago when we were young. So all these changes, it's really interesting to see and to follow.
And to compare.
Well, and of course to compare. Fortunately, and I think here we should be proud in Europe with all the difficulties we have, but I think it was always like that generations see the difficulties, but we see how many top quality players are produced here in Europe. And I think it's also we as FIBA support this with our youth championships, but obviously there are also some other aspects, the clubs where the players are practicing every day, etc. As I said, it became extremely professional when you think of all these academies around Europe, and not only in Europe, working already with players at the age of 15, 16, 17. This was not necessarily the case in the past. So when you always want to compare, we have to always look also on what was the environment at that time.
That too, yes, I agree. I can talk to you for hours, but don't worry, I won't. Just one more question for you. What are your expectations for this championship, and are there any names? You said you don't want to talk names, but are there any names that stand out among the young players?
So I start with the last questions. Yes, there are names, but I will keep my tradition. I will not put any names because this could backfire and I don't like it. And it will be also unfair. Just to pick up few names is never fair. So there are some interesting players. As I said, it will be very interesting to see what is going to happen with them on the way in a year or two from now on. Will they make it to under 20? Will they make it to somewhere else, etc.? And this actually is the part of the, I would call it, European tradition, that the players, other continents do not necessarily have it. In the other continents, they have one zone championship every summer for one age category. So it is even more, I would say, exclusive. Here in Europe, fortunately, we can offer this to many more players and then to see. But again, here, what we are doing is not only for the top players. I think, obviously, the top talents, they should make it to whatever they want to reach. But here, we also see many players who will play first division, who will maybe play or not play for the national teams. But these are also very important players. The world and basketball is not only the top 10 players in each of the country. And this is also part of our policy. We want to strengthen the national championships, national leagues, because this is actually where the players grow, and then this is, of course, the base to select the players for the national team. Every federation should do it. So I think here it is not only about these few big talents. I'm not worried about them at all. They will make it either way. But it's also about those who are behind and maybe not so visible today, but who knows what will be tomorrow.
Like you said before. Okay, we will try to remember as many names as we can so that we can, in a couple of years, know that they were here and playing in Niš. Thank you so much, and let's enjoy the view.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and now I will really enjoy beautiful weather, and thank you.
You're welcome. Hvala vama koji ste nas pratili, pratite nas i dalje.